Hi all. Today we are going to discuss about how to create an console app using Entity Framework. Later on we can discuss about how to use Entity Framework inside a web application also. So let's get started. Open up your Visual Studio and create a simple console app. Just create a new project and console app 3. Our project is created. Before diving into our code, let us discuss about what exactly is this Entity Framework. Okay, Entity Framework is nothing but a framework we use to communicate with our database. Usually what we use for communication with the database is like ADO.NET. Okay, ADO.NET classes SQL connection, SQL data reader. So many classes are there, and what we have to do is like we have to manually do all the entire operations and sometimes the mapping between the models and stored procedures. Okay, these things are very difficult for a developer. So what Microsoft has done is like they have come up with an idea of Entity Framework. So what Entity Framework will do is like it will give you a set of classes. Okay, and by using these set of classes we can easily communicate with the database. It also reduces the use of queries, okay, to a certain extent. Instead of queries we have a different kind of technology here called link. I will explain to you about that also in later videos. Okay, let us go back to our Visual Studio and do some work. Okay, first of all I just want to mention one more point here. Okay, but Entity Framework is like it has coming with the two different options. First one is code first approach. Actually we are going to discuss about code first today, and the next one is DB first. Okay, let's discuss about code first. Okay, code first is nothing but when we write some code in our Visual Studio, inside our Visual Studio, and when we build our project, eventually the database and all the required tables will generate automatically in our project, in our SQL server. Okay, this is a kind of approach is there in code first approach. But in the case of DB first, as its name suggests, first we have to create the DB, because we have to fix all the tables and all the things. Then later on by doing some operation on our Visual Studio, I will show you guys how to do that. Anyway, some operation we will get the automatically generated code in our Visual Studio. Okay, DB first means create DB and get all code. Okay, get all code. This is how it is look like, and here just type some code and generate tables. Okay, and vice versa. You can understand that. And next question is when to use these approaches. Okay, if we are trying to develop a new project for the first time, or start to build a new application, then we can go for code first approach, because there are a lot of changes are need to be there, right? So we have to do some kind of iterations, some kind of some trial and errors will be there, right? So it is better to stick with the code first. Okay, we can also by editing some line of code in our project, we can easily do all the changes in the database. Okay, it's cool. Next one, DB first. It is more used when for example we have a website ready. We have a website available and we have to develop a mobile application. For that we need to create some web API. So our database and our project is already set. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to just create only web API. So in that case we don't need to create any models, so we can use our existing database and create that code into our that code in our Visual Studio. Okay, for the demonstration purpose and the better understanding, I will start with the code first. Okay, and let's get started. Okay, go to your Visual Studio and right click on your project and go to the package manager console. Okay, NuGet package manager, and search for entity framework. Okay, actually entity is available for the MongoDB also. Okay, mostly it is used for SQL Server. So for the demonstration purpose, I am using SQL Server as my database. So I am going to select entity core SQL, and we have to select all here, because it will then only show all the available packages. Okay, the SQL Server is here. Select the latest stable version. Okay, just install it, accept it, and yeah, it is finally installed. And make sure that in our project, just open this dependencies and make sure that inside the package that SQL entity core is available. Okay, so it is successfully installed. Okay, now get back to our program. Okay, now we have to create a folder inside our project. Let's name it as model. Okay, model usually represent tables of a project in MVC pattern also, so we can easily relate to that also. So I am naming it as model. I am going to add a class here. Let us name it as student. Okay, it will be a student table. Okay, and you have to give some properties here. I will copy paste my properties, not much. ID, name, and mobile number. Okay, make it as public also. Okay, and this ID is primary key, so we have to provide a annotation here. Just type key here and just import all our required namespaces. Okay, this is coming from our this package. This is entity framework SQL Server. Okay, this is the place where the annotation comes. Okay, and yeah, now we have to create the most important class. Okay, which I am going to name it as student app DB context. You can give any name you want. For the time being, I am giving student app DB context. Okay, this class I am going to make it as public. Okay, and what exactly this class do is like it will help you to achieve all our database operation. Okay, in order to achieve that, we have to inherit with the predefined class inside the entity framework, which is DB context. Okay, you have to import the necessary namespace. Okay, now all things set. Now what we have to do is like we have to provide in some area we have to give the proper connection between the database and our project, right? Usually in a web application we use the connection string. Okay, we can also provide the connection string in our console app also. So we have to override one method. I will show you. Just press F12. You can see what are the functions available inside. You can see it here. I will copy paste my code and I will explain to later. Okay, okay, here it is. It is the method and I will explain. Okay, this is it. This is actually the DB context on configuring. This method will help us to connecting the SQL server. Okay, I will show you guys here. See, it is available here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. What we are doing is we are overriding it. Okay, I think you have known some basics of overriding. I will explain in a brief. Okay, overriding is nothing like when we have a class here, class A, and a class B will be here, class B, and it is inherited A, and we have a method here, void hello. Inside that method I am going to write print hello. Okay, what we have to do is like we can override this method. Just define a method with the same signature here. See, and you can override according to your need. The same principle is applied here also. Okay, instead of hello and hi, we are dealing with the on configuring method. Okay, that's all. And in that we are supplying the connection string. You can see here this SQL Express database. Our database name is SchoolDB. Okay. Now we have to give an important method here, public db set. Okay, this is coming from db set is coming from our entity framework, and db set, and inside that you have to give your model name student. Okay, student is here, and just give a name here students, because throughout our application we will represent our table as students. Okay, this is how things will go. Okay, now what we have to do is just create a method, object here, because whenever we want to communicate with the database, we have to make use of this class, right? So we have to create an object of this particular class. There is some error here, I am missing a semicolon. This is nothing but a getter and setter method. Okay, I have mistakenly written get 2 times. It is set. It is basically getter and setter method, the properties. Okay, and we can create the object here. For example, ob is equal to new student db context, right? And we have to import the package. Now in db context we have a method called add. Okay, inside, by using add you can perform insert and delete anything, update. Basically you can modify your data. For this time we are adding some data. So first of all we need to add some data here, dummy data. So that for that purpose I am creating an object of student. Student means this model student. Okay, student, let's name it as s1 is equal to new student, and I am going to give some dummy values. S1 dot name equal to 1, name equal to Vishnu, and id equal to s1 dot id equal to, id is written as integer, so it is will be 1, and s1 dot mobile number, right? Mobile number equal to some, I am already written my mobile number as a string, so some values will be here, and you have to provide that s1 object here, s1. Okay, and the important thing is you have to save your changes. This is the main function call. Okay, now we can build our application. Just press build. Our app is building. Oh, it's showing some error. What was our exception? SQL cannot open the database. Put a login failed. Okay, maybe something wrong with our connection. Let's check that. Okay, instead of dot we can go for localhost. Okay, server localhost and SchoolDB. Okay, let's just try one more. Oh, we are getting error. Okay, let us fix it. Okay, first of all we have to change the database to db1, and yeah, we almost forgot. We have to do a query over here, like open your package manager console and select our project, add migration. and migration initial. This will set up our database. Okay, it shows some errors again. Add migration is not recognized. Okay, maybe what we can do is like we have to install some supporting packages also. Let's right click our project and go to the package manager console, NuGet package manager, and select entity framework tools. It will entity framework tools. Okay, just install this and latest version tools is okay, accept. I think it's installed. Okay, let us check. Yeah, it is installed. Now we can try it once again. Initial migration, build starter. Okay, and update database. This will update our database. Build succeeded. Okay, our migrations also work. Okay, now let us open our SQL server. Open our databases. You can see here school DB1. Open it, and tables. Inside that table you can see students. A new table is created, and just select data. I think data is not come here. Okay, let's just once again run our project. Okay, okay, it is working fine. Just refresh our table. Yeah, data is coming. Let us once more build. What I corrected my code is like I have removed the integer part, because what happened is like if you go inside your model, we have already mentioned that it is integer. This ID is key, primary key, so we cannot explicitly add a data over here. So the SQL server automatically give that number here. In order to override that, we have to do some changes. We can add string that I will show you in later videos. Okay, and for the time being I am building this app once again. You can see it here. It's working. Okay, and refresh our database. Yeah, the data is coming again. Okay, this is how we develop our console app and entity framework. Okay, thank you.